Hey Quentin, how's it going, buddy? Quentin James. Just testing a few things in the system tonight. Hooked up a few different setups, and I wanted to see if it works. This mic is probably going to cause an issue. Just give me a minute. Oh, really? Hold on. How you been, Quentin? Let me know if you can hear me. So I've got a little bit of a different setup tonight, and I'm trying to figure out if it's going to work for my regular shows. It seems to be working as far as I can tell on that computer. You should be able to hear guitar and my voice. Maybe if you can't hear me, it won't help. So let me just type in here. There we go. Okay, cool, you can hear. That's good. That's weird. I'm just trying to figure out my chat window here, my setup. It says there's nobody in here, but you're in here, so it should say at least one person. So I don't know. Oh, it says there's 2 people. Levels are fine. Okay, good. So I guess a question I have for you is when I'm playing, you're hearing the guitar signal, but are you hearing acoustically when I'm hitting the strings? Hey Jason. Do you guys hear the strings acoustically when I'm strumming? Or do you just hear the signal, the guitar, like the clean sound from the helix? So you do hear the... Okay, so I've got to figure it. Hey Janice, how's it going? So I got to try to figure out a way that if I'm playing or demoing something, playing guitar, that either I can mute my mic or figure out a different mic that's not going to pick up all this. What if I put a, let me put a distortion on. Hold on, try that. If I'm distorted, do you still hear the string, the acoustic strings? Not overwhelming though. Okay, still sounds okay. Yeah, I think I can minimize that though. There must be a way, because my mic's right here, so if I'm hitting that, you're probably hearing that through the mic. Yeah, I need like a mute or foot switch. Yeah, that'd be a good I can mute it from my mixer, but I got to reach over there and do that. If I had a way, I bet you I can probably rig that and put some sort of switch, a foot switch or something on my desk that would be kind of triggering that mute right off the mixer. That'd be good. Yeah, I figured. Okay. Okay, well that's gonna get me thinking a little bit and try to figure out a way to do that. There's got to be an easy way to do that, but my mixer just has inputs and stuff, so there's not really a way that I'd have to open up the mixer and go in electronically and rig something, I guess. I could do that. I can also mute on this thing. Hey, Gussie Wells, how's it going? Because I can mute this. So let's say I mute, hold on, let me put this here. I'm gonna mute this. There you go. So you shouldn't have heard anything there. Well, you should have heard the guitar, I guess, but not the strings hitting acoustically when I'm picking. Yeah, so the only thing I'll have to remember, if I can't rig up some sort of switch to the mixer that I can just hit on my desk, I'll have to mute it with my my transmitter. Sorry. So dry in winter, my throat gets all dry. Yeah, because there is a mute switch on here. It's just if I get playing and demoing something and then I forget to turn it back on when I want to speak, then it's going to be a pain in the arse, and then it's going to sound like arse, as Guitar Hack would say. I gotta post some more vids. I am technology challenged. Janice says that. I don't think you're technology challenged. Didn't you? You've posted vids. I've seen vids on your channel. I'm playing the Friedman tonight. There it is. I love this guitar. It's awesome. It's got a great neck on it. I wish I could, I like my Les Pauls a lot, but the only thing that I would probably, well, I'd like to, I don't think I would do it, but I'd like it to have a, like the back of this neck is, I don't know if you guys can see that on the video, but it's completely bare as far as like there's no finish. Like you can see it's been relicked obviously, right? But there's some finish here, then there's nothing down all the way down here, which makes it super comfortable to play. So I wish my Les Pauls were like that too. Well, all my guitars I wish they were like that. I prefer the feel of that a lot more than having some sort of finish. Or my Les Pauls aren't bad, even though they have finishes in the back, like they don't get sticky or anything, which some guitars tend to do, but I still prefer this feeling. Like, I don't know, just it's a lot more comfortable. Saboteur's Music. Oh, never seen that name before. Welcome. AR2, what's going on? This wasn't a scheduled stream, by the way. This was just something I was testing out some new connections with the mixer and the Helix, and so I needed to go live to see if everything worked. Hey Dave, how's it going? And it seems to be working. The only thing, like we were discussing before some of you popped in here, was that if I'm demoing something or I'm playing guitar with this current setup and using this mic, that when I, like, you can hear the guitar distorted, but you can also hear me picking the strings, right? So I'm trying to find a way that I can eliminate that, and the only way I can do it is if I mute my mic, and that's fine, I can do that, I guess, but I have to kind of remember to unmute once I'm done doing my demo or whatever. Hold on, this mic is driving me nuts. Hold on a second. There you go. Let's see, what do we got in the, sounds good, all right. I'm sure the guitar sounds okay coming through, but I just want to eliminate that, you guys hearing me picking the guitar when I'm doing something. I think it would sound better if I could eliminate that, especially in a clean, with a clean mode here. You can probably you know what I mean? Something like that. But if you can eliminate the sound of the actual picking on the strings acoustically, then that would be a lot better, I think. We will see. The other thing I noticed about this guitar is it didn't look like it, well, it doesn't have locking tuners, but there was a big debate last night whether or not it did have locking tuners. I don't know if you guys saw Guitar Hack's stream with the Guitar Pit and Cheddar. And Cheddar's guitar does have the locking, and they're the same vintage type of tuners as this thing has. It's hard to show you guys on this, but I guess the vintage Telecaster Friedmans do not have the locking tuners. So, and I like having locking tuners on all my guitars, but I want to keep this style because these are like aged and vintage looking. So I'm gonna have to look online to see if I can get the same type of tuners but in a locking format. I'm sure they do. I can probably get the ones that Friedman sells, the ones that Cheddar has on his guitar, as long as they fit, and I think they're the same headstock that the vintage T, and he has the Stratocaster ones, so I'm sure that they would be the same. So I'll have to double check, but just have to get them or change them. As long as they're a direct fit, I'm fine. I don't want to be drilling anything or changing anything on this guitar too much. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, these P90s are super pickups. I love these pickups. They got tons of sustain. I don't know if it's the pickups and combination of the guitar and the pickups, just the way the wood and everything is, the build of it, but it's got a ton of sustain, this guitar. But the one thing with the P90s, in this exact setup, if I'm playing, I guess, facing this computer, because if I turn my chair around, I've got another camera back there. It's not hooked up tonight, but when I'm doing a demo using the amp or something, I like to turn that side. And if I'm turning that side, it doesn't pick up all the noise from these monitors in front of me, because right now it's in the middle position. But if I put it in through the bridge, you can hear a lot more. And if you go to the neck, it's a little less, but the middle position seems to have less staticky noise. If I go to let me go to a gain channel here. So see that? You definitely hear that, right? And if this is the neck, middle position, which is both pickups, and then the bridge, and that's what gain. So, but if I turn around and I'm not facing these monitors, you get a lot less of that. So when I'm playing these P90s, I have to be careful with that, because So the middle is, yeah, it's hum canceling, right? And that's why it's go from that to that. But again, if I'm playing facing the other way, it's just because when there's a lot of electronics in front of me, obviously, with the monitors and you know, the direct boxes and all kinds of stuff going on here. The computer or the studio monitors are here too, the speakers and stuff. So that's probably not helping the situation. I got Calavid playing simultaneously. Okay, cool. Rick Hefner, how's it going? Everybody's doing well tonight, I'm assuming. We had a ice storm today. Well, ice storm, kind of icy conditions, roads and everything. So I worked from home today, which is what I do if it's crappy out there, because I don't like driving into the city when it's like that. Drop the spaghetti. What do you mean, drop the spaghetti? Who's got spaghetti? What's everybody playing tonight? I'm sure you guys have a guitar in your hand. I know that's what I do when I watch live streams a lot. I'll have a guitar in my hand and I'll be picking away or doing something, listening, and Rick Hefner says I'm pretty much snowed in as well. Dave R says ice sucks. Yeah, I'd rather have snow than ice, that's for sure. Yeah. Playing SG, cool. Yeah, my SG's back there. So I played it earlier tonight. LTMH50. Oh, LTD. Okay, cool. MH53. What model is that? What body shape would that be? Dave R says SG. Okay, we got a couple SGs tonight. Oh, let's see. Must be SG night. It's got my junior Marsman. How's it going, Marsman? So we've got quite a few SGs. I don't know what that MH53 model is. LTD. Janice says it hasn't really snowed here so far this winter. You're probably south then. It's northeast here got hit pretty hard all the time. Gussie says need an SG feel. Yeah, yeah. Rick Hefner. Oh, the Super Strat. Okay, cool. LTD makes some nice stuff in ESP, right? I want to try a Friedman, either the Strat style or the Cali. Well, they call it a Cali. I guess it's a Super Strat. The only thing I'm not crazy about it is having a Floyd on there. I'm not big. Not that I have anything against them or anything. I'm just not a big user of that, and it's just another thing, you know, when you're tuning and everything that can be a pain. So I like something like a hardtail or something like that, you know. Connecticut, Janice says. Oh, okay, you should. Well, you're pretty lucky if you didn't get too much snow, that's for sure. We didn't get that much snow, but in the last couple of weeks we've got hit a few times, and then today we got the stupid ice. So let's see. Gussie says, anyone selling one? Yeah, I'm not selling mine, not yet anyway. I don't think I would sell it unless I was buying a different one, because I really like the SG a lot. I use it a lot. But they're not too bad. You can usually score some pretty good deals if you look around for SGs. Even on in our area here, if you look on Kijiji, you'll see that there's quite a few of them that come up on there, and they're reasonably priced, and you can probably even get them lower than what they're advertised. Obviously, if you just, you know, make an offer for it with the seller, I'm sure that sometimes they'll let it go for a lot less. You might save a couple $100 even more. So and the music stores, yeah, it depends who you shop with. Sometimes they'll do a deal with you. Let's see. Jason Wade says, dialed in a sweet 335 plexi dirty tone on your 11 rack, playing along with BB King, a major backing track. Cool. You like that 11 rack, right? I've never tried one. Before I bought the Helix and stuff, I would, like when I got back into guitar last year, I just kind of finding all this stuff and doing some research. I did see the 11 rack there, and that was one of the things that I was looking at possibly getting, but then I got this deal on this Helix, so I went with that. But I heard they're pretty good. R2 says ESP SG is called the Viper. Oh, okay, good to know. Would an ESP SG be exactly the same size and scale length as a Gibson SG? Because I know that a lot of companies do the same body types and stuff. I just don't know if they're identical as far as sizing and weight. Rick says, I have modified it so it's sweet. Awesome. Gussie, guitars that would be good. Guitars. Anyone have El Nico speaker? Because I gotta ask in every stream. I don't have one. I don't know if anybody else has one. They can let us know in the chat. Let's see. Dave R's Guitar says he's thinking of selling his 2010 SG in Heritage Cherry. So there you go, Gussie. You can maybe work out a deal with Dave here. Dave really wants a 2013 SG standard with P90s. You can get the new 2019s have the versions with the P90s as well, but I don't know about the 2013s, what they're, if you can find one, and what the prices are if they're similar. Dave R. Guitars, okay. Yeah, Jason, I did see that you got it for $199 for that 11 rack. When I was looking at them, they were $700, I think, $699, $700, around, you know, around that price range here in Canada. So yeah, you got a smoking deal on that thing. That's amazing. For $199, you can't go wrong with that. That's got tons of flexibility and tools and options that you can use in that, especially if you're going to do just playing in your, you know, in your apartment and you're doing some recording and stuff. That's amazing. Gussie says, guitar P90 so versatile. Dave's R Guitar says, it's the only pickups I'm missing. Since I got the white one, I haven't touched the 2010. The only pickups you're missing, you mean, are you talking P90s or are you talking something different? The Viper is slightly different, Rick says. Okay. Because I know that companies that do, they're not copies, I guess. Well, they copy the body shape of the SG or even Gibsons or anything. There's always a little bit of variation, and sometimes, you know, the scale length is different, the weight is completely different. But I've never picked up the ESP or the LTD SG type guitars. Even Framus makes one, and like Phil X guitar or whatever, and apparently it's a little different as well. Let's see. Janice says, I traded my SG for a drum set. I wasn't happy with it. Okay. You weren't happy with the SG? I guess it depends. Any guitar, it doesn't matter. I'm a big Les Paul guy and I love Les Pauls, but I've tried some that didn't really do anything for me. So it's definitely guitars aren't all the same, even though they're the same model and everything. They're not all built the same way. They don't have the same. Sometimes you'll pick one up and you'll feel very comfortable with it, and they'll have some sort of connection with it, and then you'll pick then one next to it, which is the same exact model, and it feels different, or there's something slightly off or different about it. So you definitely gotta find the one that works right for you. Let's see. Hey, GTV, how's it going? Just going through the chat really quick. Again, this wasn't a planned stream. It was just a quick, I needed to do a quick test on this setup with the Helix and the mic and everything, and I just needed to run a test, so I figured why not. And I checked if anybody was streaming, so I wasn't going to be cutting into anybody's other stream, and didn't seem like anybody else was streaming, so I might as well run the test right now, do this. Let's see. Guitar TV says I'm getting a P90 PRS soon. Okay, which one? The SE one. Which one is it though? Is it just a like a Les Paul type single cut, or is it the double cut models? I know they make a few that have P90s in them. Rick Hefner says didn't like the SG400 Pro Custom EPI. What is it? Are you saying ESP or EPI? SG400 Pro Custom. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that one. Marsman says, so many of us noodling on guitars. Could you play a what? B and G and BRJ. Oh, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I can play. I don't know what you want for a jam track, just a. There you go. You can loop that. And that can be your jam track. Let's see. Dave, our guitar says my 2010 SG neck is very different than my 2018. Both are standards. Yeah, mine is a 2018 standard. And I did find that because I did try SGs before I bought this one, and they weren't 2018s. They were some different models, and they didn't really do anything for me. And then I tried this one, and I really loved it, so that's why I got it, and I'm really happy with it. Janice says strings too high, and I'm a strummer, and the toggle switch was in my way. Yeah, well, again, right? I'm that way with Strats. I like Strats. I like the sound of them, and they feel nice. But the way that I strum, I need that volume, because the Strat volume is right here, like right there, and I keep hitting it because my hand lays right there, type of thing. It's always, and I even tried. I bought one and brought it home, and I tried to adjust to playing with it, and I always hit it, and I never felt comfortable. So I ended up bringing it back. I like the controls to be, you know, like this. This is a Telly, but it's got the controls like the Les Paul, which are further away from that. A standard Telly, like I've got the SMEER Telly back there, and the controls are standard Telly, and they're down here a little bit. So, and I'm not, like, I've played guitars that have a volume here type of thing where it's not that close, and I was fine. It's just when the Strats are very, very close to this pickup. So I never, you know, it's one of those things you're comfortable with where the controls are, and you can start to adjust to it, but you choose the guitar you're comfortable with as far as that goes. Let's see. Gussie says, oh, hold on. Before Gussie, we have GTV says the single cut with one pickup. Oh, okay. The single cut with one pickup. I'm pretty sure I've seen that. I'm not sure. I can't remember if I have or not, but yeah. I thought it had two pickups, but I might be wrong with that. Well, definitely post a video when you get it. We'll see it and hear it. I'm sure they're fine. PRS makes some nice stuff. Dave R. Guitar says, oh, an Epiphone SG you were talking about. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Gussie says, anyone here family with Tyson Tone pickups? Oh, familiar with Tyson Tone's picks, sorry. my screen's all screwed up here, and I'm trying to read everybody's comments. I am not familiar with Tyson tone pickups. Can't say that I've heard that. Marsman, perfect. We was rocking. Denny Allen, how's it going, buddy? Do you have any stories to tell about gig or meeting people experiences? Do I have any stories about that? Well, I played many gigs. Trying to think of something that would be of interest. That, you know, you play so many of them, they all run together after a while, and then and it's been a while, right? I've been since 2008 when the band broke up. I've basically been out of music. So, but I didn't. I've met. Oh, I got a story, a good story. So, one of my biggest influence, well, not a biggest influence, but a guy that I looked up to as far as a bass player was the bass player for Megadeth, David Ellefson, I think his last name is. And I always thought he was a really good bass player. He played, you know, he was kind of, he has a good technique. I liked his sound. He plays, you know, Megadeth music is pretty complicated in some songs, right? So I really liked his stuff. But anyway, when we were recording our first CD, was it our first? I think it was our first CD. We recorded an EP, and then we were going to record the full CD probably 6 months after the EP came out, because we wanted to promote that, and then we had a couple of deals lined up. So we just had the EP out, and I had sent out some stuff to California and a couple of other places just to see if I could get interest as far as other companies that might be interested in signing the band or working with the band or booking some tours and stuff. And I never expected anything. I was just like, you know, well, what can hurt, right? So you send your stuff out. And one day I come home, and it was back in 2000, let me see, 2003, maybe 2004 area. And back then we didn't have, you know, cell phones and, you know, things like, well, we had internet, but it was pretty primitive. And I still had an answering machine, like the regular tape answering machine where you rewind the tape and everything. And I get home and I see this light flashing on my answering machine. So I said, no, let me check this out. So I play it, and it's friggin' Dave Ellefson from Megadeth on my answering machine. Because what happened was I had sent, he was starting up I guess a small record or working with a record company, and he was kind of working to become a producer and looking for bands to produce and to promote. And he came across our EP and was interested in producing our full album and stuff. So that's why he had called me, and I was floored. I couldn't believe this. So then he left a number. And I called him back. I remember calling him back. I was so nervous, and I didn't, like, you know, you're talking to somebody that, you know, when you grew up as a teenager and everything, you were listening to their albums, and, you know, it's just so weird. So I called him, and I was pretty nervous, and, you know, he was a really nice guy on the phone, and we talked for over an hour, and we talked about all kinds of stuff. And once I started talking to him, I felt more comfortable. So I started asking him some more, you know, questions about Megadeth and about the band. And this was at the time that Dave Mustaine had something that happened with his hand, and he had to get an operation done or whatever, and they weren't playing. And I think Dave had left the band, and there was some issues at that time. There was another bass player there. He wasn't with Megadeth at that time when I talked to him. And he told me some stuff, you know, the behind the scenes stuff that you don't always hear, which was kind of cool to be talking to somebody that's directly involved in that, and it's one of your idols and stuff on the phone, and you're going through some of these stories. So that was an interesting one. But anyway, what happened with that he was interested in producing us, but because of the cost, and we would have had to go to Arizona, and there was a lot of, you know, things that were kind of getting in the way of making that efficient and a way to do it where everybody would, you know, benefit from. Just didn't work out. So we had a Toronto producer here that from the Metalworks studios that are in Mississauga, really popular studio where a lot of bands, Rush and everybody, have recorded in, that we had lined up, and the producer was ready to go. So we went with that instead for the recording of our CD. But he was willing to come to Toronto as well to do it, but we would have had to come up with a lot of money, obviously, because we would have had to pay for if it was 2 weeks or whatever it was to produce the CD, or a month even, you know, you have to pay all those expenses and everything. And we were at the ground level. We were starting. We had an EP out, but that was it. And we had, you know, a couple of record companies interested, and we had one that had us signed for distribution, but that's not a lot of money when you're talking about that. They were paying to produce a CD. You know, when you're talking about spending about 10 to 20 grand, that's one thing. But when you're bringing in a Dave Ellison or a producer, you got to pay him his cut and stuff, and it was too much. So nobody wanted to cover that. So we never ended up going that way. But that was a really cool experience. So like, if you're asking about, you know, did you ever meet anybody or have run-ins with people of that, you know, stature or whatever. But that was, for me, being a bass player and having one of your idols on the phone, and I couldn't believe it. My wife was in the other room and she was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're actually speaking to somebody that you grew up listening to, and you know, I learned a lot of their songs, and I liked his style. So that was that. But yeah, R2 says, yeah, Dave Ellison is a cool dude. He is. He's a really nice guy, and not that, you know, sometimes you meet somebody that you idolized or that you really looked up to, and you meet them in person or have an interaction, whether on the phone or whatever, and it's not what you expected, right? Sometimes it's a disappointment, and not with him. It was exactly as what I thought of him anyway. And I never met him before, obviously, but just the way he comes across in interviews and stuff, he was that guy, right? Very down to earth, and had a lot of good advice for me and in music and stuff, and, you know, put things into perspective. So that was a good experience for me. I never forgot that one. Janice says, oh my God, did you see the meme of him staining a deck and them saying Dave must No, I did not see that. That's hilarious. Oh, I did not see that. I gotta check that out. That's too funny. Dave Mustaine. That's incredible. Yeah. So other than that, I don't. Let me think. Was there anybody? Well, we did play a couple of gigs in Canada with some bands that were, you know, pretty popular in Canada. Like Our Lady Peace was one of them. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. And, you know, we met them obviously because we were on the same bill and stuff. So some of that stuff you know, but you don't have a lot of time to interact with the bands when you're on if you're on a festival thing or whatever, and everybody's doing their thing, and you meet them and talk a little bit, but then you move on, right? Guitar Hack, what's going on, buddy? And I'm trying to think who else. Oh, I did meet. This wasn't part of the band thing. This was before the band. Well, I was playing in bands, but not with SMEER. I had just moved to Toronto. I was probably 19. Well, I moved to Toronto in 1990, but I think this was 93 or something. And up in our area, there was a park up in just north of Toronto called Molson Park. And every Canada Day, which was July 1st, they would have a big concert there, and they would have tons of people, you know, like really popular bands in Canada anyway, like the Tragically Hip, Jeff Healey, Lee Aaron, you know, those types of bands back then anyway. They were the popular bands. So I was fresh out of a small town. I just moved to Toronto. I was just experiencing all this stuff, and it was a big culture change for me to leave the small town after I graduated high school and just jump in a van with a couple of guys and move to Toronto to pursue music. So anyway, I went to this concert, and this was one of the first ones after I moved here that was like a festival type of thing. I've been to a few concerts like at the Maple Leaf Gardens and stuff like that, but this one was different, and I never experienced it before. As a kid growing up, we didn't have that in our area, so we never got that. So anyway, we went up there, and you know, you're very early 20s and you're partying, and we were staying up there. We had a tent and everything, and we set up our camp, and we're partying along, and it's getting, you know, later at night and stuff, and we're watching all the bands and everything. I had some crazy idea in my head. After a few drinks, you start to have fun, and I said to my friends that I was with, I said, I want to go backstage, because I was seeing people go in and out from the back area. You know, they had their laminates and everything, and I said, I'm going to try to get back there. And everybody thought I was crazy, right? You're not going to do that. You're going to get us kicked out and everything. Just relax. So I waited, and there was a break in between. Jeff Healey was playing, and then I think the Tragically Hip or something was coming on after him. So after he was done playing, what I did is I went back to my camp, and I had a towel, and I put the towel around my head, and I had really long hair back then. Funny that I have no hair left, but I had long hair like down to my waist. And I just put the towel around my neck, and I kind of walked over where that backstage area was, and I just walked in with some other people, and they saw that I had the towel on, so they figured, you know, I was part of a crew or something, and they just let me in. And there I was backstage, right? And they had all these trailers for all the bands and stuff, so I actually went into a couple of the trailers, and I was in one where Lee Aaron and her band were in, and I was talking with them, and a couple other ones. But then Tragically Hip was actually setting up on stage, so I wanted to go, you know, on side stage to watch the show from there, right? So as I'm walking there, the roadies are handing me equipment, like the amps and stuff, to go on stage and put them up, because they thought I was part of the crew. And I'm like, okay, what do? I don't want to like get in trouble here or whatever. But I made pretend I was part of the crew, and I knew what I was doing, because I was a musician, and I knew that, you know, how to hook up an amp and stuff. But so I walk up on stage, and here I am. All my buddies are down there in the front, a couple of front rows or whatever, and they're waiting, you know, with the crowd and everything. And here I am on stage, putting up these amps and moving guitars around, and I'm like waving at them, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's Brian up there. What is he doing?" Right? They couldn't believe it, but that was another story. And I got through it, and I watched the whole show from the side of the stage. I went backstage and, you know, had some beers with some of the other bands. Nobody said anything, and I never had a laminate or anything. All I had was that stupid towel around my neck. And if you look the part and you don't stand out and do anything stupid sometimes, I couldn't believe I got away with that. But anyway, that was a pretty cool experience. I never tried it again after that, even though I got through that. I think today, if you try that, you might get away with it. I don't know, but I never I never tried it again. I didn't push my luck, let's put it that way. Let's see. Did I see anything here? Great to see you. Guitar, enjoyed watching your band practice, Guitar Hack. I didn't see that video yet. I gotta check it out. I know that you posted it. I saw something on my feed there, but I didn't have a chance to go and watch it. Gussie says, that's great. Thanks. Yeah, that's, I have a few other stories like that, but it's, and a lot of these things were just first experiences with stuff like that, because like I said, I grew up in a really, really small town. I went to see concerts and stuff like that. We would have to go to Quebec City to see them, and usually what would happen in the high school, there would be somebody that would organize a bus trip type of thing, and they would sell tickets. So you would pay $40, and that would pay for your ticket and your bus trip, which Quebec City was about 4 hours from my little town in New Brunswick that I grew up in. So you would pay your $40, and we'd have a busload of people, like they were big Greyhound type of bus, and the promoter, whoever was putting on the trip, would charge $40, and that would give you your ticket and your ride there and back. And it was awesome, because even back then, it was like, if you did what we did back then, and you got stopped, like cops would stop you, it would be like the bus driver would be in jail and everything, because he would stop as soon as we'd hit the border of Quebec, which was about an hour from New Brunswick, but you know, that's just the border. Where Quebec City is, it's another 3 hours. But once you hit the border in Quebec, you could go to any little variety store and buy cases of beer for real cheap and stuff. So what we would do is we would all pool our money together, and we would give the bus driver a bunch of money, and he would stop at the first store and he would go in and buy all this beer and he would just bring, and we'd have it all in the bus, and we'd drink all the way up to the concert. And when you think about that in the terms of today, like how strict and how things are today, man, that would be I can't believe that we got away with that. And the bus driver was like, you know, he was a cool guy, right? And he was watching, and he just knew that we were going to do it anyway. So he figured, if you're going to do it, I'm going to be responsible for it, and you know, monitor it or whatever. But yeah, everybody got pretty plastered, that's for sure. And we're just like, we're kids. I mean, I'm not talking about, you know, 20-year-old. I'm in, like, my first concert was Motley Crue, Lee Aaron, and Exciter, I think, were the bands that were playing, and this was back in Shout at the Devil album, so that would have been 84, I think, around that time. So I would have been, at 84, I would have been 15 years old. so that's pretty crazy. But it's just what it was, right? Yeah, that's what it is. Jason Wade, I've been playing while watching and listening to you. Forgot OBS was still recording. I got content. Oh my God. Awesome. How do you like OBS? Are you still getting along with that? I would use it a little bit, and it's fine, but now I'm using this other system, Wirecast. I seem to have better luck with this one, but I had it installed on my computer because it's part of, you know, work paid for it, so I just had it, and I figured I might as well use it, and it's working out well. I think took a little tweaking here and there, but it seems to be working out well. Let's see. OBS, obstructive bowel syndrome. Yep. Guitar Hack says, did you get the ice storm? Yeah, we did get the ice storm. I worked from home today. I didn't go in, and I'm working from home tomorrow as well. Usually Thursdays I work from home anyway. Yeah, today if I get any type of weather like that, and I don't have to go into the studio for production, or we didn't have any productions going on today, so I just have video editing to do, and I can do that from my home studio here. So I tend to do that instead of venturing out in that crazy weather, so it's not worth it. R2 is getting timed out. Why? Why are you getting timed out? I don't understand these chat things, by the way, like how you get timed out, and like, I know you can click on somebody's name and hide them or ban them or whatever, but as far as the timeout stuff and all that, I have no idea. That's why I just made Guitar Hack and Jason as moderators and stuff, because they seem to know what's going on with this stuff, with the chat anyway. Guitar Hack says we got sent home early today. Yeah, I think a lot of people did. Even at our office, there was a lot of people that just didn't go in, and they just work from home. So I saw some stuff on the highway. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, I'd rather have snow than ice. That's for sure. Ice can be real tricky. Did you just mods do it for trolls? Yeah, I've only had a couple of people pop in here that were like trolls, I guess you could call them. I've never had too much, but I know they're out there. I know Pete Thorne gets a lot of it, and I heard, I don't know if you guys saw this, but it's real disturbing. There's a guy online, and if you do a search, if you go to YouTube and just do a search for Pete Thorne PT15 or something like that about his new amp, right? Well, there's this guy, well, I did that because I was looking for information on his amp, and when I put that in there, there was his video that he did at NAMM and some other stuff, and then there was a guy, like a guy's picture in one of the videos or whatever, and it was some other guy, I can't remember his name, but you'll see it there. So I clicked on it. I thought this guy knew something about the amp, right? So I clicked on it and I started watching it, and oh my god, this guy is like, hates Pete Thorne, and he's calling him all kinds of like names, and he's going on about his amp is no good and so forth, and I guess this guy's been doing this for a while, with not just with this recently, I guess it's been happening for a while, and he actually even goes into Pete's Sunday shows and chats or whatever, and goes in there in different accounts and post all kinds of stuff, and like porn links and all kinds of things, right? And I guess he's even reached out privately, I think, that Pete had mentioned in one of his shows that Pete had to go to the authorities and report that somebody's, you know, harassing, and because the guy looks really weird, like almost unstable, to the point where, you know, you don't know if it would get dangerous if he ever like started stalking somebody and wanted to do any harm or whatever. So that type of stuff is kind of weird when you see that. But if you have a chance, I mean, it's kind of stupid when you watch it, but it's crazy. I was, when I watched it, I couldn't believe it. It was like, and like, it's really, anyway, that's I guess that's the nature of being online, and especially for the guys that are real popular online, as far as having a lot of followers and stuff, you're going to invite some of those people in, and you're going to get that type of reaction. Some people are jealous, some people are not always, you know, thinking your best interests. They maybe their lives aren't the greatest, and they need to do something to bring people down or to affect other people's lives in a negative way, and that's how they deal with their own life. I don't know. I don't understand why somebody would do that, but anyway, yeah, there's a lot of weirdos out there, that's for sure. Let's see. You are safe with Hack and Jason. Good. That's why I made them mods, because I don't want to be, I can't follow all the chat all the time, and sometimes, and even I've had some people come in there once in a while, like in back when I first started doing some of these live things. I've seen a few, like one guy came in and was talking about Trump and all kinds of whatever. Terry, how's it going, Terry? It's not weird. I've been online since '96. I've seen it all, and internet access is now free to anyone, sane or otherwise. Yeah, no, that's true. We can't control that. That's part of the, there's good sides to this stuff and there's bad sides, and it's just like even social media in a way, right? When social media came on board, everybody was like, hey, that's the greatest thing. I can connect with my old friend from high school or my family members that I haven't seen in so long, and then all of a sudden you see the other side, you know, with the bullying and all kinds of other stuff happening. It's a very different world than what we grew up in, so something to keep in mind, right? I mean, there's a lot of good with this stuff, but with anything, I think you get both sides. You just have to deal with it. But you know, I try to take it, you know, take the positive, and if you don't, I guess if you don't react to the negative, the ones that are always coming in and doing stuff, if you give them attention, obviously that fuels them and they keep doing it. So I tend to just ignore it and as much as possible, as long as it's not, you know, doing any harm to anybody else. I wouldn't want that. But it is what it is. So yeah, tonight it's the Telecaster Friedman's turn. I was playing the Les Paul a little bit today, and what else did I play today? I think I played just the standard, and then I picked up this guitar, and because I was doing some writing this afternoon after I got done video editing for work, so I wanted to start some writing, and so I picked this one up. I really like the feel of this neck, and it's very comfortable, so just played that for a while. I like the SMEER guitar a lot too, the other Tele. It's really, I don't know what it is about that neck on the SMEER. It's a little different than this one, but it's very comfortable. And the stainless steel frets on the SMEER are very smooth. Like, when you bend and stuff, they feel different. Like this is smooth too, but it's a little different than my SMEER. Yeah, and then the other thing with this, obviously, this guitar isn't the best when I'm doing live streams and I'm facing this way because of all the electric noise that I get, you know, if I'm hear that. If I go in the middle, it's okay. But if I put it on the clean channel, it's not that bad. Let's see. There you go. Little Wednesday night smooth jazz, or blues, I guess you should call it. But yeah, as we were discussing earlier, I just got to find a way that I can mute the mic when I play, because you're probably hearing the picking of the strings as well as the sound that's coming from the helix. So if I'm doing demos or playing or whatever, I think I need to find a solution. I can mute this mic by just hitting that, but like I was saying earlier, if I do that and then I forget to unmute, then it's a pain in the ass. Let's see, go back in the chat. Let's see what we got. See you guys talking with each other, it's good. Guitar Access played some Les Paul earlier, awesome. Guitar Hack, what mic did you buy? Cheap but good Marantz. Marantz. Okay, I'm not sure. I thought Marantz were like a stereo company or audio, like hi-fi stuff. I didn't know they made mics. If that's what you're talking about, I could be completely off here. I'm just kind of catching up with the chat. Yeah, Marsman, I had Brian play, get the jam track. We were just jamming. It's not much of a jam track, it's just a Brian Cote, uploading that video now. I'll drop it after this is over. I'll forgive the camera angle. It wasn't set up to do. Okay, I want to see it. Yeah, Guitar Hack. I don't know what that mic is. Marantz? I can't say that I've seen those. Play some Dwight. That's for R2. I know R2 likes that, so. Right, R2? Yeah, they make mics too. Okay. Is that a mic you want to be using, I guess, just for when you're doing your live streams, or is that something that you're going to be using with the band as well? Drop that. Condenser, yeah. Is it a condenser or something? Ate my PA wire. Oh no. Janice said something ate her PA wire. Where is your PA that something ate it? Is it a dog that ate it? A cat? I hope they're okay. Terry says, I just ordered a new Econo mic to check out since my plans to get a bass this month fell through. Oh, okay. Condenser. Jason says it's a condenser. So if it's a condenser, I guess do you need phantom power with that? I'm assuming you would, or does it have a battery? I guess maybe it has a battery in it. We had a guest dog, Janice said. Oh, and it ate your PA wire? That's not good. What kind of song could we play for Janice? The dog ate her PA wire. Let's see. Guitar Hack says it's a condenser for YouTube and recording. Maybe yes, needs phantom. Recording maybe. Okay, yes, it needs phantom. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's probably a great mic actually. Condenser mics are really good for that purpose. I have one here that I used when I did some vocals, and I played acoustic on one of the originals I wrote last year, and I just mic'd the acoustic. I preferred the sound of the acoustic with the mic in front of it, and because the acoustic did have a built-in pickup, I could have went direct into my interface and recorded it that way. But I found that using the condenser and just getting the acoustic from the actual body of the guitar was a better sound. So I just learned a new song. What is that? I have no idea what that is. Eric Ojeda. I don't know. Guitar Hack took care of it. Good. Guitar Hack says I used an SM58 to record. Yeah, well, their SM58s are workhorses, right? SM57 as well. If you're miking your guitar cabs and stuff, that's kind of the go-to for a lot of people. I have one as well in my, that's what I mic my cab with, is an SM57. They work great. Janice says I got it working, but it's shorter. Yeah, well, as long as it's working, that's what matters. Even this guitar sounds like great acoustically. Like it has a good, it resonates really nice. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it does has a. I always do that with guitars too when I go to try them in the music stores and stuff. Like I'll plug them in after a while, but I'll pick one up and I'll try it. It has to resonate. Like I have to feel that first in order to say, yeah, this is a good guitar and I want to try it out and I want to go through an amp and maybe purchase it. That's a big thing for me. Gussie says SM57s aren't, yeah, they're not expensive. You can get, and there's even a couple of companies that are making SM57 clones, I think. Shane from In the Blues, I think, bought some online. I don't know where, maybe Amazon or wherever, I don't know where he bought them, and he did a test and he did a demo of them, and they were just as good as the SM57s, and I think they were half the price. So maybe check out his channel if you're looking to know what brand it was or whatever, but he's got that on there, and they're pretty good if you think the SM57s are too expensive. But Terry says, yeah, there's a ton of cheap and expensive solutions when it comes to mics and what you run them into. Yeah, there's tons of options now, that's for sure. Gussie says they are so great as the EQ for you. Yeah, the SM57, it's got a, like it cuts through basically, especially that's why so many people use that stuff live. It's because for guitars, they cut right through and they have a good range. Terry says, yes, I can hear how well that sounds. Yeah, you can hear the acoustics, right? So I like that. That's, if you can get a guitar that sounds like that just without plugging it in, you know that, you know, it's going to resonate very well, and when you plug it in, it's going to be really good. Let's see. Gussie says, yeah, I watched that video. So you've seen the video with Shane in the Blues that has those different mics, right? Dave's guitar, all of the guitars I own, I don't have a single electric that resonates and vibrates like my Firebird. Really? Firebird. Did I ever try a Firebird? I don't think I have. Or if I did, it's a long time ago. I tried Thunderbird basses when I was playing basses. I tried a bunch of them. I liked the sound of them. I just didn't like the feel of them. They felt like the neck would dive very easily, and just wasn't comfortable to play. So I never bought one, but I did try them before. They do sound good though, like through an amp and stuff. They sounded really good. But I stuck with my my preferred basses were always the Ernie Ball Music Mans. I just love those things. But right now, I got a Yamaha that I really like now, and because I only use it for recording and stuff, I'm not playing live. But if I went back to playing bass in a band, I would probably go back to the Music Man. I tried a couple of Warwicks too that were really nice, but they're very different. And the Music Man and a Warwick are completely different beasts, right? So I was so used to the Music Man basses that when I tried the Warwick, I liked it, but it was like a totally different thing. So I stuck with what I had. Gussie says, want Rode NT1 now. Yeah, Rode makes some really good mics too. I think there's so many companies out there making good stuff. It's just a matter of, and you can get the information so easy right now, right? You just go on YouTube and somebody has a demo or a review of it, so you get a good sense of if they're good or not before even spending any money. So that's pretty good. Jason says, all right, going to split. I'll drop the video before going to bed. You made the thumbnail. Hope it was a good night. All right, Jason, thanks for being in and helping me out here with the moderation and stuff. That's awesome. Look forward to seeing the video, and we'll catch you on the next stream for sure. Dave, our guitars, it has to be a neck through. You can feel resonate, vibrate when the straps a lot. Yeah, I know. And well, this isn't a neck through, and I can feel it resonate through the body and everything. But I know what you mean, though. A neck through or a set neck body or something, you definitely feel that, right? So I know what you mean. So, all right, well, probably go for another 5 minutes here, and then we'll. So again, I just wanted to test some stuff tonight. I wasn't really planning to do a stream. I just figured since nobody else is streaming, it might be a good time to run this test and see if I can figure a way to. I still got to figure a way that I can mute this mic when I'm playing with a, like I can do it with this, but if I could have a switch or something, because my mixer's over there. If I have to reach over there every time I want to mute, it's going to be a pain in the ass. So if I can run some sort of switch or something on my desk, that would be awesome. I have to figure that out. Has a proven Skinnerd, yeah. Gussie got it. All right, Guitar Hack, have a good night, a good day tomorrow. Hopefully the weather changes for us. It's not so bad tomorrow. I know they're expecting more rain, but as long as it's not freezing rain, you should be okay. If you're streaming tomorrow night, let me know. I'll check it out. I know that you weren't sure if you were gonna stream tomorrow night. Terry says, look into getting Elgato Deck Mini. Should be around $99, and I think it has 8 programmable LCD keys. Yeah, there might be something with. I've seen the Elgato stuff too. Maybe I can do that. Maybe I can probably run the mic into that. That's a good idea. I could run a mic into that and then into my mixer, and then I can just cut the mic. That's okay. Now you got me thinking. I think I have a solution. I just have to buy another piece of gear. Great. Another Skinnerd for you. It's a Skinnerd Night. What's that other Skinnerd song? I need distortion for that one. Do that, do that. something like that. Dave guitar says Firebird is neck through body. The wings are glued to the. Yeah, that's right. That's like the Thunderbird bass. I'm sure they're the same. They're built the same way, I think. Terry says, Brian, if you're using OBS right now, the Elgato deck can be programmed to mute the mic and switch. No, I'm using Wirecast, and the way that my system is set up, I have a mixer where all my mics are going into, and that mixer is going into my Focusrite, and then basically that's what Wirecast is picking up. So it's picking up everything. So I just control everything from my mixer. If I need to turn a source on or off or turn something down, I just do it from that. But I think I know how to do it. If I get a separate box and I plug my mic into that and that into the mixer, I can cut it right from here. So that'll work well. I'm going to look into that tomorrow, actually. Let's see, R2 says good night to Guitar Hack, Brian Call, my guitar playing brothers and sisters. Yeah, good night, R2. Thanks for jumping in. I'm going to probably call it anyway here because it's past 11. Wow. So anyway, thanks for jumping in, guys, and helping me do this test. And everything seems to be working well, but I think I know what I need to do with the mic system so that when I'm playing, that you don't hear the acoustics of the strings, you just hear the There you go. We'll end it with some Rush and Tom Sawyer. How's that? All right. Thanks, guys. And we'll see you next time. I'll be doing a live show on Monday, my regular live show, which is at Monday nights at 7:30 p.m. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you very much. And thanks for all the cool chats and stuff we had tonight. That was fun. And I'll probably see you on some other streams for sure. And until next time, I think that's it. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.